Welcome to Be Adventurous. My name is Brianna and welcome to my channel. Let's go! Welcome to the Keychain tutorial series. This is episode 4 and today we are learning how to crochet keychain bats just in time for that Halloween season. I've made 3 different colored bats so far. I have made black bats, purple bats, and gray bats. I recently made a big bunch for my markets, and for this past weekend, bats were a hit. In this video, we will be sewing some pieces together, new additions like crocheting this together and creating these little nubs, learning how to make that point in the ear. The materials you are going to need will be a pair of scissors, tapestry needle, some stuffing. We'll use a size H or 5mm hook for the ears on the bat. Otherwise, everything else on the bat, I will use a 6.5mm hook. This is usually my go-to hook. Some pink for our nose on the bat. And for this video, due to this being a black color and roughly harder to see when crocheting, we are going to use this mystical purple. This way you can see the stitches and we'll be able to follow along a little easier. For the eyes, we are using 9mm sized safety eyes. And if you want to make sure your bat cutie is along for the adventure, don't forget your keychain. Get up here. Are y'all ready to make our little bat cutie? Let's go. The black color I do use for my bats is Burnett blanket yarn. So if that is the yarn you choose to use, it'll make a little more sense to follow this video, but if you use different yarn, that's quite okay, and your bat will either become a smaller bat with smaller yarn or a bigger bat with thicker yarn. Getting started with our purple here. Let's find our end. Get started. I will usually chain 2 and work in that first chain that we did and single crochet 6 around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull on that tail just a little, and as you see, we are starting the top of our head. I will usually start like that instead of a magic circle. You can do a magic circle as well if you choose. You will get the same outcome. So now that we are finished with our first round here, let's continue on to our second round. We are going to increase in each stitch around, totaling 12 by the end. And as you do this, I usually will hold the tail for a couple stitches so we can pull it tight and make sure that middle of our head is tight. But first, let's do 2 single crochet in this first stitch. Alright, and then 2 single crochet here in the second. 2 in the third. And you're going to do that all the way around to 6 to get 12. I'll usually drop the tail around 8. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. And then here we are. 11, 12. Pull on your tail to tighten that middle here just a little bit. And as we continue on to round 3, just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. When you are done with single crochet in each stitch, counting to 12 stitches, we're going to make sure that tail is a good tightness now. Just don't pull too hard or it might break. Alright, now we are looking at the top of our bat head. And now that we did one, continuing on to the next round, we are going to decrease all the way around. So 6 decreases. Next round we will be working in the front loops only, and we are going to do a single increase all the way around, a total 9. So front loop only, grab that first front loop, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In the next row or round, we will be single crocheting 9 all the way around. Single crochet in each stitch here, so 1, 2, 3. Now that we have single crocheted in each stitch around, we will increase to 12, and by doing that we will single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second, and then increase in the third. And do that all the way around. 1, 2, 1. Making sure you have 12 all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's good to keep count, that way you know you're in the right ballpark. And next we are doing our round where we get our little feet on our bat. So we will just do a bobble stitch, a double crochet unfinished bobble, a 3 double crochet. So first on this round we're going to single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do that bobble. So I'm going to do a double crochet unfinished, 3 of them, so 1, wrap around, grab, pull through, 2, same, and 3, and you're only pulling through 2 on your hook, and you should end with 4 loops on your hook. You're going to pull through all 4 of those, and that's our little foot. We're going to do that again, but first we're going to single crochet 2, so 1, 2, wrap around, insert, pull through, wrap around, pull through only the 2, wrap around, insert, pull through 2 again. We're going to do that one more time to get our 3rd unfinished double crochet here, and you have 4 loops on your hook. Wrap around, pull through, and we have our second little foot there. And you're going to single crochet 4 to the end of this round. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. You can go ahead and pop out your little feetsies. And as you see, we are creating our middle body. All right. Before we continue to close up and stuff our body, we're going to add our safety eyes. So go ahead and grab your 9mm size safety eyes. I picked up some one-offs here. I usually get like a pack, but I wanted to restock some bats this weekend. So I went and stopped and got some extra eyeballs. But I will be ordering more this week. Alright, so we're gonna take a look at this and make sure we kind of match it up, you know, with our feet. So this one might be over a little lefty, but so we kind of line it up with the middle here. And you're gonna want to do it in that second round, roughly in the middle of it. Otherwise, that between that stitch, that second row and third row, you can insert your eyeball. But you're gonna want to make sure it lines up with your feet. Sometimes I'll put them in and then move them to my liking. So let's just get some in here and see how it looks. Might move this one over just a little bit. And I think I'll go with that. Insert here and fasten the backs.
Years later.
I did find these small bags at Joann if you are looking for just a small pack. Less than $3 for a pack. 8 pieces. Alright, bring your stuffing out. Put those bun eyeballs away. And grab just a little. So my memory was full, and anyways, add some stuffing to your head. Take some more stuffing and stuff a little bit of the body here. You don't want it too stiff because we will be putting on some wings. And that will take up some of that plush inside. We just don't want our plushie to be too stiff. Alright, grabbing your crochet hook here, let's decrease 6 times, so all the way around to close up our bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, once you get all the way around 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we are slip stitching in the next stitch. Pull through, and we're going to snip off the end here. Flip. Alright, if you feel like it needs a little more stuffing, go ahead and make sure the butt is a little stuffed. Alright, here we are. can do this right away because it's so close. Just that way it's done and out of the way. Kind of take that first loop on the top, go around. See here. Count should be roughly 6 with the stitches around here. Pull tight. Wanna be a little gentle so it doesn't snap, but I'll insert it in the middle and then just pull it up through somewhere to hide it inside. All right, voila. We are now done with the body of our bat, but now we need to make wings. So let's carry on with our color, and we're going to start the same way. Get your 6 single crochet in a circle here. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and then we're going to increase in each stitch around in the next round here for a total of 12. Once you get to 12, you can pull that tail a little bit, get tight. We are going to single crochet in each stitch around, so it's single crochet 12. 1, 2, and that is an example of it snapping. And what you can do if that happens, I'll show you sometimes what I do. For example, you're going to want to cut off a little bit of the color. Kind of, let's pull this out. And feed through. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but as you see, like, I can see there's like a little bit of a hole here, and I like to make sure it's closed. So you're just gonna want to feed through those loops on the bottom here, so that way we can like close this circle. We can keep going around too and crisscross them if you want. So that way they're tight. Alright, so that way that's tight and it's not so much of a gap right there. You can tie these together. It's going to be hiding in our wing anyways. So, alright. Next, here's what we're going to do. We are single crocheting across to close up this circle here. Alright, so here's what we're doing. You're going to insert your hook in the next stitch, and then you're going to go across the way and insert your hook in that stitch, the most recent stitch that you just did, because we're going to want to single crochet across here and close it up. So we're going to single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch in that first chain. So we're going to get that little nub, and then just continue into those next two across from each other. And single crochet. And now we have our first little nubby. Single crochet one more. So we're like in the middle here of the wing. And then you're going to do that same thing for the nub. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then slip stitch in that first chain. Single crochet onto the next stitches here, the ones that are across from each other. One more single crochet. If I can get it in there. And then we'll do our last little nub, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the first. And then we'll do that last single crochet in these last two across from each other. And slip, so we can close that off. I leave a little tail, for sewing. You gotta sew the wings on the body. Right. Here we are with our first wing. Clean up our workspace a little bit. Floofs. Right. And now we get to make another one of these. Have you crocheted 2 yet? If not, that's okay. Just pause the video and go back and make for another one. So, now that we have 2 wings, we are also making 2 ears. So, now we are making our pointy ears. Switching to our smaller hook, 5mm hook. Grab your color. We're going to get our yarn attached here. We're going to chain 2. Just don't make sure it's not too tight or not too loose. If it's too tight, you won't be able to work in this first one. But we will single crochet in that first chain. Single crochet, and then we're gonna do a half double crochet in the same stitch, chaining 1, working in those first 2 bars of like the 3 here, you know, that we just did with the half double crochet. So you see how there's 3? You're gonna go in the first 2 here, and we're just slip stitching. Half double crochet in the same stitch down here once again, and slip stitch in the same hole there. Pull through, snippy snip, for that way we have a little tail to sew our ear. We're going to do that again, small enough. Just whip it up right here. I'll show you guys. Chain 2, 1, 2. Work in that first chain here that we did. You're going to single crochet, half double crochet, chain 1. Work in those 2 front bars here. You're slip stitching, half double crochet in the same stitch down below here, and then slip stitch in that same hole. Pull through and leave a little tail for sewing. We now have all of our little pieces here for our bat. And our next step is sewing with our tapestry needle. There are certain positions here I like to put the wings and the ears. So you see this foot nub. Roughly 1 row after is where I will sew on the wing. So I'm not sure if you can see, but the row here after your nubby of your foot, you're going to sew. So here we got 1 more row, and then we're going to sew right after that. Starting with this wing over here, I will find, get a clearer look here, I will find that row. So here is our nub, here is that row, and we're inserting actually a row after that, but we're going to come up within that row. So this line right here is where we're going to sew on our wing, and you can pull up through the middle here somewhere on the wing, so that way we can attach it within that next stitch up. And I'll usually follow that line up, insert within a stitch or 2 here in the middle of the wing, and then go through up 1 more stitch row here, and when I get to the very top, I will usually insert my needle like a row over, so that way we can curve the top in just a little, come out through the back here. You can go up and through and around how many times you'd like, as long as it's like secure. Probably go around it a few times, usually. And this is how it will look, so it'll kind of be all attached until right by that neck. Alright, so now, what the heck? We have our first wing. Voila! Now for the second wing, you're going to do exactly the same thing, but on the other side. So here's our nubby nub, and then this is the row line. So we're looking at it differently because we're on this other side. So here's the row line. Insert a hook, a row over, or needle will come up within that line. Pull through. And then you're going to slowly attach your wing once more on this side. The same technique we did on the other side. It's a little harder to see the row, but just go up through the stitch how you see best. roughly within that row up, but row over. So we're attaching that middle chunk. Right, the tails I will usually place somewhere random in the body and tie them together to secure. And then insert my needle somewhere to pull it through so we can disappear that tail in. And because I hide all like the tails inside, that's what I was talking about, like with the stuffing, because the tails will become their own stuffing as well. So it can get pretty stiff quick if you hide all your tails inside. All right, here we are with the wings on our bat. We're getting close. We just need to add 2 more things. Well, 3 technically. If you want your keychain, that's the 3rd. But next, let's sew on our ears. There's a certain area, roughly about a row over of the eyeballs, where I insert my needle to sew on the ears. And then I will come from this side, right in the same row here, and come up in the middle of the head and sew on the other side of the ear there. So grabbing our first ear, I will usually use that shorter tail to guide me where my ear needs to go. So starting on this side, roughly within the row of the eye, you're going to insert that tail. So that way we can kind of get that first start and position right without having to like pin it on there while we need to sew it. While holding the ear, I will insert that row over my needle and pull up through the middle here. Pull through and then grab like that last 2 here on the corner, because we want it to be like that triangle, so we need to get that other edge, other point. Insert right in that middle of the head, or over a little more if that's what you're more comfortable with, but I will usually pull through and have them by each other so that way I can tie them together to secure. And we're going to do the same technique thing on the other side here with the other ear. First, I'm going to hide the end. All right, here we are with our 1-ear bat. Looking cute. But we want it to have 2 ears. So let's get our other ear. Oh, I will show you what's the right side and what's like the wrong side of the ear, because it might be hard to tell. Usually the right side of the ear will be like, the tails will be in your left hand. So inserting our tail on this ear first in this middle part, since we are on the other end of the ear with the tail. Inserting our needle in that middle part of the head. we're going to come out a row over the eyeball, just under the eyeball in that row. So sometimes the back looks more like unfinished to me, so that's how I can tell. Or if you see like the single crochet stitching is easier to see on the right side rather than the wrong side. These are the front 2 loops. Like that's the back of the ear. But working on a corner here, we're going to grab 2 loops. Go through. Go back down through that we came up out of, and insert through the body or the head somewhere else, roughly, preferably by the tail that you inserted, and pull them a little tight so we can get them in the right position and secure. I like to do a couple knots here. Insert somewhere on the body, pull through so that we can hide our tail within us, tails. Don't be afraid to lightly position where you like and pop out the ears if needed. Plushies will need a little bit of fidgeting, so that way you can kind of get your plushie looking the way it's meant to look, and shift around that stuffing so it knows where it needs to go. And here we are. We have our bat all sewed together. And we have one final touch, and that would be the cute little pink nose that I add to my bats. You can see here. It's very light coral pink. You can use whatever color or modify however you would like. I just think this is cute. So long enough so that way we can like double strand it. Insert somewhere on the head or body, and we're going to come out where we want our one side of the nose to start. Sometimes it takes a little bit to see where you like it. And then you're going to tie your ends. Going to just snip it and then tuck it in. Kind of a small area. Here we are with our finished bat, and you are very welcome to just keep your mini plushie mini and cute, but if you want to take him on your adventure, how about we add a keychain? Grab your handy dandy keychain tools. And let's get her loaded up here. Alright, grabbing our end piece here on the plushie to secure the keychain. And kind of just twist it through that top middle section and make sure I grab enough yarn so it's pretty secure. we have now completed our bat. I would love to see what your bats look like. Just tag Be Adventurous Cuties. If you did have any issues with the tutorial, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love your feedback or review on how everything went. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more cuties on the weekly. I'm crocheting just about daily. And, as always, be adventurous.